Hello, and welcome to another edition of Fitness Friday Posi-TIPS with Rachelle, folks. It is always great to be here with you on Fitness Friday, the best day of the week, folks. Continuing this very ambitious sub-series here on marketing, looking at a convenient sample specifically today. So, had a convenient sample of non-fitness industry marketing collaterals. This time, going to look at some specific fitness industry examples. So, again, this is convenient samples, so these are collaterals that came to my home, to my email. This is not an exhaustive list by any means of all of the marketing that goes on in the industry. These are just samples, convenient samples in the interest of time, because remember, as much as I love Fitness Friday is free. So I do the best I can with what I have, folks. What a way to kick off this episode. And so, folks, first off, wanted to make you aware, if you aren't already, I actually had, Discover Card, for those who are Discover Card members, they have cash back rewards for their credit cards. And so for Q1 2022, their rewards were for purchases at grocery stores and fitness clubs / gym memberships. So it's very interesting timing for them to bump up when you think about, from a partnership perspective, seeing the potential within the fitness industry, gyms in that particular segment, to partner up and offer cashback rewards for those who are using Discover for those particular purchases. Now, they have various industries and categories throughout the year, but to kick off 2022, had to highlight that specific example. Now, you've seen me highlight these before. Now, these are the circulars that are mailed to my home. I'm sure many of you received them. And so I actually had to remind myself here, this is dated 1/23/2022. And so you'll see here, there's always a boatload of different advertisements inside, circulars inside, but on the back of this one, what we see here is Amazon. And so when you think about it, and I've talked about this from a marketing perspective over the years, in terms of prime placement, overall direct mail has a tendency to have a much lower response rate. But so there's certainly ways, and priority or premium placement is a way to help to increase, the ROI, the return on investment, potential exposures. So you think about premium is right here. Another premium is certainly back here. And we see Amazon highlighting their own Amazon Basics brand. Stay in, work out. You've got yoga mats, training ropes, hand weight set, yoga mat, dumbbells. And so want folks to purchase their own Amazon private label brands. Next, I received an email from Pure Barre Novi. And so this was Friday, February 22nd at 1:15 p.m. And I'm going to, in the interest of time, this has got a lot to cover. We have Pure Barre is here to help you. So I'm going to read through this rather quickly, just so you can get a flavor. Pure Barre is a full body workout that focuses on small movements that lead to big changes. It is a gentle blend of yoga, Pilates, and ballet, but you do not need any dance experience to take class. Our musically driven group classes focus on low impact, high intensity movements that strengthen and tone your body in 50 minutes or less. Pure Barre is truly an empowering class for both body and mind. Next, it says click this, and there's a clickable link. Click this link to learn more about Pure Barre. Our schedule is designed to help to meet your busy lifestyle. We have classes daily that range from 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and offer a variety of packages and memberships that are created to fit your schedule. Next, it says click this link to see our clickable link for class schedule. Next, we have a special offer for you. So again, sounds like a promotion's coming. Listen up. Your first class is on us. Sign up for your first free class by following this, and there's a clickable link. Next, fall in love with our amazing technique. Take advantage of this irresistible offer. 3 months of unlimited classes for $129 a month, or save extra and pay for all 3 months up front for $375. Next, no commitment after 3 months. Next, redeem your new member bundle with 2 pairs of sticky socks, water bottle, and tank, and that serves a value of $39. Next, participate in all 3 class formats to see lasting results. Next, 24/7 access to our library of live stream classes so you don't ever have to miss a day. Next, enjoy 50% off a private class event for your bridal party and close friends. Next, retail cost $766. Don't delay, buy today. Begin your Pure Barre journey with this promo code and book your free class now. Left the promo code off. Next, we'd love to get to know you and your health and fitness goals. Let's chat. And the owner of Pure Barre Novi, Bridget Stockton, sent this email. And so, again, in the spirit of panoramic view in 2022, an entity like this is not typically something that I've covered in the past, but I'm on a number of various marketing lists, email lists for a number of fitness entities. And so I like to share those when I can. That's actually a newer one I got on the list earlier this year, and that is an example of one. And so I love to showcase various marketing examples, various sectors of the industry, particularly broadening things out, certainly at this particular time. But it's important to evaluate. And the greatest lesson I shared with you towards the end of last year, going back to Northwestern University, and the greatest lesson I didn't realize at the time was for group projects, how we were required to, we have our own group presentation, bam. But then we had to sit down and listen to other people's presentations. And so I didn't understand the beauty of that at the time, as I digress, but this is a very important point, because I understand it at the time. Not only is it a respect thing to be able to sit there and listen to other people, but it's also very important from a leadership development standpoint, to be able to, again, you look at this from a confidence standpoint, the ability to confidently listen to others' ideas that many times are better than your own. I mean, it's just, there's no other way to say it. There's just no other way to say it. There's a lot of research that just shows, the beauty that comes from groups, and particularly groups that have diverse, with diverse backgrounds, and just how beautiful things come together in that particular environment. But for the ability for us to sit there and listen, because guess what? We would have walked out there for example, one of my own groups. We would have walked out of that class if we didn't have to stay there and listen to other people. We would have walked out of that class thinking, oh yeah, we were the cat's meow. Bam. And that is not, when you sit there and listen, why? We would have had that mindset because there's no basis of comparison. We gave our own presentation and left. Now, if that would have happened, we wouldn't have been able to sit there and listen and have the humility, the humility that whether somebody was humility or not, humble or not, that humility to sit there and just say, man, that's a good idea. Man, that never occurred to us, or that never occurred to me. Kudos, let me clap. Let me go up after and just say, you know what, you guys really nailed that. You guys did a good job. It takes a high level of confidence to be able to do that, to be able to sit there and listen to other people, because human nature is what? Bam, tunnel vision. And so that is one of the that greatest lesson that I learned, to be exposed to others' ideas, to others' strategies, to other projects. To have that open-mindedness to say, you know what? Hey, I may be smart, but so are other people. And other people come up with good ideas, and there's some good opportunity to collaborate, to learn, and to grow from what they've done based on their own experiences and backgrounds. It's a wonderful thing. So that's why I love to do stuff like this on Fitness Fridays. And marketing series are certainly a great way to do that, because I share what others are doing within this, particularly from a marketing standpoint, within the fitness industry, because a lot is going on here, folks. And so next, we have Ergata. And so what they are advertising, some of you, I received this back in December, this direct mail postcard, and it states 15-minute full body home workouts. So at the bottom here is featured in Vogue, Business Insider, Men's Health, Bloomberg, WSJ for Wall Street Journal, and Forbes. On the back here, it states elegant rower designed for your living room. Next, new competitive game-based workouts added each week. Next, get a full body workout in 15 minutes. And we've got the pricing info that I'm going to quickly highlight and move on in the interest of time. $62, starting at $62 a month. White glove delivery, made in the USA. Start your 30-day trial at ergata.com. positivecreativeInfusionConsulting.com. And of course, there's a fine print that talks about the pricing of $62 a month. It's obviously, based on credit worthiness and things like that. Next, we have Club Pilates. This was a direct mail piece that came to me in the month of December. It's in my mailbox, and so what they have here, they've got a 2022, or had a 2022 year special to kick off the year, 20% off your first month, $22 off enrollment. On the back here, it states that again, and then it says, did you know you can work out while decreasing back pain, nagging pain points, and stress? Do more of what you love with Club Pilates. 5 great locations to better serve you. And so you've got Novi, and they're highlighting Rochester Hills, location Troy, Beverly Hills, and West Bloomfield. And so there it is, Club Pilates, Club Pilates. So you definitely see some robustness coming back from an advertising standpoint. In 2022, we know 2020 was tough for the fitness industry. 2021 was a slower rebound, but you're definitely seeing a lot of rebounding from a marketing standpoint within the industry. Next, this is actually a message, that came in my Gmail account. So this was sent to my Google Voice number from Crunch Fitness Farmington Hills. And so this is dated Friday, January 14th, 2022 at 11:34 a.m. I received a second email or message to Google Voice, and I have it transcribed to come to my email, January 31st, 2022 at 10 o'clock a.m. And it goes on to state, Crunch Fitness, Farmington Hills, sale ends at midnight. Let's be friends. Join for 22 cents plus rest of January free. Visit crunch.com. Use code, skip the code, text stop to opt out. So there it is. So they had a special, join for 22 cents and the rest of January was free. And so you notice the timing of this. The first message that I got to Google Voice was Friday during January 14th. And Saturday, and another communication, Saturday, January 15th, 2022 at 10:35 a.m. So repeated messages announcing that particular promotion that they had earlier this year. Next, we have Powerhouse Gym and Novi and their direct mail piece. And so they were advertising new for 2022, dual memberships now included, Novi and West Bloomfield. 2 gyms for the price of 1. Your resolution solution in 2022. Open 24 hours, fully equipped, women's only section, month-to-month memberships. Tanning and hydro massage are now included with memberships. First club in Michigan with Air PHX technology. And so it goes on to say, keeping the safety of our members, employees, and community first, we have invested in Air PHX, nanoseptic self-cleaning surfaces, EMIST, EMIST, electrostatic sprayer, and active pure technology air purifying units. Join today for just $2022, savings of over $300. Hurry, offer expires 1/19/2022 or to the first 100 members only. And on this side, it again just emphasizes, in the interest of time, not going to go all over this, except for one final point I'll make here. It says, join now and receive 2 free months of semi-private training, guest privileges, towel service, and kids club. And so they highlight more enhanced cleaning protocols. And so clean air and equipment kills virus, bacteria, and mold if present on equipment, including COVID-19, MRSA, staph, athlete's foot, norovirus, and more. Eliminates odors and allergens, works 24/7, uses no chemicals. So that's it for my old stomping ground, Powerhouse Gym Novi. Moving on to another old stomping ground, you have Planet Fitness here. And so I have 5 marketing collateral pieces here, direct mail pieces for Planet. And so early on in the year, so this came, Feel Fitacular. So from a marketing standpoint, that's their catchword, Fitacular, Fitacular, Fitacular. So zero down, the ubiquitous, zero down, $10 a month. Start 2022 on a high. Join for zero down, $10 a month. Cancel anytime. But something that caught my attention was for this particular piece, deal ends January 6th. And so, of course, we know Q1 is a very, very time of big opportunity, great opportunity in the fitness industry. And so, but typically, and I've shown a number of these over the years, for those who've rocked with me long enough, you know you've seen many, many of these from Planet. But this one said deal ends January 6th. And so typically, historically, if you've watched me hold these up long enough, you know historically, their promotions typically run between about the 12th of each month when they're running the promotion. Obviously with COVID and the gym shut down, they were paused and all of that. So that's the 12th of the month to around the 16th of the month. So you'll notice that's when your TV ads, you'll see them, and you'll notice the promotional expiration date. You'll typically see between the 12th and the 16th historically. So when this one ends on January 6th, I said, yeah, so the opportunity, they're taking advantage of the opportunity for Q1 being robust, January of each year obviously being very robust in terms of opportunity for new member signups. And so deal ends January 6th. It was very, very important to point that out. The club that always has been known for being clean is now cleaner than ever. Learn more about our cleaning procedures at planetfitness.com/club cleanliness, club-cleanliness. And it shows Planet Fitness Clean Thumb Club. So that is that one. So we see another similar ad, Feel Spectacular in 2022. So here we go, the typical deal ends Thursday, January 16th. In the interest of time, I'm going to just fly through these because they're very, very similar. And so we have another one here, Feel Spectacular 2022. Join for zero enrollment, $10 a month, cancel anytime. So you see very similar messaging. We change up the design. You see changes in the design here. So join for $10 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, February 16th. Bam. And so that is that. And so we see here, let me highlight this point before I move on to the next one. Planet Fitness is proud to be the first fitness brand to achieve the Well Health Safety Rating, evaluated by third-party experts and backed by science. This seal on our doors means that you can continue to feel safe inside. Our commitment to being a clean thumb club means that you can run, curl, squat, press, pull, and walk confidently. Learn more at planetfitness.com/club-cleanliness. So that is that. Moving on to the next one. And we have here another one, smaller piece. You can see here, this deal ended February 28th. So once again, in the month of February. So we had the first promotion of the month. Well, it's still the same promotion, but you saw the expiration date in the last piece being the 16th. But there was an extension. There was another extension for a deal ending on February 28th. Very, very interesting. But again, another opportunity to take advantage of certainly January and February of each year. Very, very common in the fitness industry, particularly among fitness chains and those that advertise and market. And so next we have here, this is one, see again, you can see the graphics have changed, the layout, but they're very, very similar. But this one, see, we see a change. Advertising the PF Black card. So ready to feel great? Yes, definitely. Get the PF Black card, zero enrollment and $22.99 a month. Deal ends Wednesday, March 16th. So at the bottom, access to 2,000 plus locations, massage chairs, and way more. So emphasizing that black card. Now, a few weeks ago when I was talking about fitness trends, and I talked about how I highlighted that article from Club Industry that showed that more than 60% of Planet members are at this black card, this second tier level, versus the $10 a month. So it just goes to show you the emphasis that's put on upgrading. Next, we have the Val Pack direct mail packet that comes that has, I'm not sure if all of you received these, but yeah, the ubiquitous Val Pack. And so they've got promotions from different advertisers, businesses inside, companies inside. But this one featured Nutrisystem. So January. And so what this particular promotion is for, it says lose weight, crush hunger, and feel satisfied. Get convenient meals delivered to your door. Weight loss never tasted so good. New, hearty premium meals. New, sizzling skillet dinners. New, indulgent restaurant faves. Bigger and better menu for 2022. Order now, 160 plus menu choices, breakfast, dinners, lunches, snacks, delivered to you free. 50% off all plans with auto delivery. Again, they're looking for people to commit. Auto delivery. Keep the deliveries coming every month. Next, it says powered by proven weight loss science, high protein meals, and lower glycemic nutrition. Lose weight, money back guaranteed. And so they have a little picture here. I'm not sure if you caught it or recognized it. I recognize that. You can't see these as clearly, but I like to show them, just for certainly visual effect. But next, Marie Osmond lost 50 pounds. And so we've got the disclaimer here. Weight loss on prior program. Expect to lose an average of 1 to 2 pounds per week. So the disclaimer, it's going to take time for weight loss to occur. And so inside that pack, so they had them with a premium placement on this Val pack on the outside, but they also had this inside, just reinforcing that. Marie Osmond losing 50 pounds, and then they've got a picture of this Merlot beef here, and show the same information that was on the front. So I'm not going to highlight that in the interest of time, but Nutrisystem. So again, I'm showing examples from the ecosystem, from the health, wellness, fitness ecosystem that exists. Next, have here Novi-Note. And so this is a publication. I have 3 copies here, 3 editions here, that started coming. It's a community newspaper that started. I think we started receiving these in Novi around last summer. And so Novi-Note, this one is January 13, 2022. And I wanted to highlight this bottom portion. And so what we have here is Orange Theory Fitness. And so I highlighted a few weeks ago, I talked about how I noticed starting around last fall, the latter part of last fall, is the increased level of marketing on behalf of Orange Theory Fitness in our area. And there was a club industry article that highlighted that a venture capital firm had bought the Michigan locations, and it made sense from an advertising standpoint because, with all due respect, heavy aggressive advertising is very expensive, and so that from a budgetary standpoint for an individual franchisee or a private owner, that can be very expensive and can certainly impact your bottom line when you're spending a lot of money on advertising and marketing, particularly if you own a small number of locations, 1 or 2 clubs. It can certainly be tough on the budget, particularly with a club closing. So with a venture capital firm backing the Michigan locations or owning the Michigan locations, think about it from an investment standpoint. The investment and the funding was certainly there to be able to they've done a lot of aggressive advertising. And so it was just very, very noticeable for the change. And I was wondering, earlier last fall, before I learned, a few weeks ago, oh yeah, I understand what happened. Now I understand what happened. But just for them to, where I hadn't seen that in years past, to see all of a sudden aggressive advertising, it definitely came together. With all due respect, marketing and advertising is very expensive. You think about the money that Planet Fitness spends, but again, that's a national advertiser fund, and so they've got franchisees pooling money together, corporate investing money, and so yeah, they spend a lot. There's a very big budget for marketing, but there's a collective effort in order to make those things happen. So it's collective work and effort, because marketing and advertising is very expensive. So we see Orange Theory Fitness on the front of this particular publication, and so they're advertising, we go all out together. Scan the QR code and get your first class for free. Join our 8-week transformation challenge this January. And so they've got the QR code here, and it says 22 Michigan locations, including Northville, Commerce, and Farmington Hills, orangetheory.com. And so wanted to highlight that. Next, we have another example of Novi-Note, February 10th, 2022, same location. See, again, direct mail, premium location, the front, okay, or certainly the back, very, very expensive. The closer you are to the front, the more expensive it's going to be from a cost standpoint. You're looking at a direct mail. And so Orange Theory, Northville, so this one's very, very specific, closer to my home. So they had a change here in the copy. Orange Theory, Northville, love your workout, guaranteed. No pressure, no excuses, just motivational coaches, a supportive community, and a full body workout designed to give you more results. The best part, your first class is free. Scan the QR code and get your first class for free. And so I've got some action shots there in the corner, and I've got the last example here, and this is for, and they changed the date. Okay, yep, they changed the placement on the date of this one. And so this one is from February 24th, 2022. Claim your first month for only $99. $99. And so it just has the number and then the Northville. And so slight change in the copy that I just read. No pressure, no excuses. Just motivational coaches, a supportive community, and a full body workout designed to give you more results. The best part, when you join in March as a premier member, again, they're trying to get people to upgrade. When you join as a premier member, your first month is only $99. Get more results at Orange Theory Fitness and live a longer, more vibrant life. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? FOMO, F-O-M-O, fear of missing out, creating a sense of urgency. You see that very commonly used as a, from a messaging standpoint and sales promotions within and outside of the fitness industry. And so there it is. There it is. What are you waiting for? And so a lot of good things are happening in the fitness industry, and I dropped something here and want to highlight. I'm going to save some, and I've decided I'm going to cover some more next week, and it's possibly going to be 3 different episodes here in marketing, because I've got some more little notes here, and I'm going to save these for next week. I'm going to save those for next week. I'm going to give you some online examples for next week, as well as some others that I have seen. Tonal, there's some other really good examples that I want to highlight as well. And so, but I wanted to close this episode out by highlighting Edge Fitness. Edge Fitness. And for those who don't know, Edge is my club, my local club here in Farmington Hills, Michigan. And so I'm going to split out, and there's a lot of information that I can give, but my philosophy. I don't play favorites. Don't do that. Not a brand promoter or anyway. You all know that. And so I'm gonna highlight a few things in this episode, and then highlight a few next episode, because it would have been too much to cover. There's a lot of different things that I certainly could have pointed out and would point out best practices in a marketing workshop or marketing guest lecture, something like that. But because this is Fitness Friday, and because again, I have to account for and control for bias and favoritism. I don't like to give too much visibility to any entity within the industry like that. But a lot of things, and the fact that I'm a member, but also, yes, I have my professional limitations, but personally as well as professionally, I recognize they've done a lot. Corporate, they have done a lot. I recognize that from a marketing standpoint. There's a lot that I could highlight, but I simply cannot. But what I want to do is highlight the Warren, Michigan grand opening. The grand opening. You all have heard me talk about that. It's come up a couple of 2 or 3 times in various episodes since I went, February 10th of this year. And you see I got my hat, my swag was behind me. And so what I wanted to do was highlight. I'm going to close this episode out. This is going to be a formal teachable moment when I want to highlight some things to you, because one thing I have to think about my own professional idiosyncrasies, and and certainly those are important for me personally, as I'm working out in a facility and being a member, very, very important. But for the purposes of Fitness Friday, have to really evaluate, taking a look at things, at a higher level. So what I mean by, personal idiosyncrasies, so things you've heard me highlight in the past, how I value, from Edge Fitness, just being a member. Okay, the consistent and compelling communication, very, very important. Next, storytelling. Do a wonderful job with storytelling. I'm a storyteller myself, so storytelling, very, very important. And lastly, this is a newer one. This is a newer one that I discovered like 2, maybe 3 weeks ago. And you all have heard me mention, a couple of episodes. I'm very, very big on recycling. And I noticed, and it's probably been there since day one, but I just noticed there is a recycled trash can. It's red at the front, a very, very front, my way out. I just noticed that trash can 2 or 3 weeks ago. Now, keep in mind, now when I'm walking in the door, my gaze is usually, bam, right there, heading towards the cardio section. So I'm looking up. But for some reason, I glanced down one morning when I was walking in, and I noticed that trash can there. And that was just such a big moment for me, and I had to retrain my brain, because for those who don't know, folks, since 2014, if you look at my hands when I work out, if you look at my hands, I will have a collection of wipes. Towards the end of my workout, you'll notice I have like a collection of wipes in my hand. And so I will take those, bring those home, and put them in my recycle bin. I'm very big on recycling. And so, we're all different, whatever. I'm just very big on that. So I would bring those home since 2014, since I was at Powerhouse, I would do that. So bring those home, put those in recycle bin, and so that was that. So for me to actually see that morning, I was just like, you have got to be kidding me when I saw that. And so I said, oh my goodness, this is great. But I just blew past it and went on to my workout. So I had to retrain my brain not to leave with those, and bring them home and put them in my recycle bin. So I just walk on my way out, bam, drop them in that recycling trash can. They're just wonderful. But see, that is a personal idiosyncrasy. That is very, very important to me. And so that is that. But so I have to take things at a higher level, much higher level, when I'm highlighting things on these particular episodes, because what are some best practices that can certainly help other people? And one thing that Edge does well, and so remember, I went to the very first location, the flagship location, my club, which was on September 28th, 2019. And so I went to that grand opening, and one thing Edge does well is build buzz, help to generate interest, create interest, in attending the grand opening. They're really good about, whether it's, and I won't get into some other things that they do around generating buzz and creating a sense of urgency. They do a lot of good things around that. But specifically, because what is important and what I want to highlight for you here in this final, what I'm highlighting this final entity here of this episode is, whether you're opening up a club, whether you're launching a new class, whether you have new equipment, whatever the case may be, you have new instructors, whatever the case may be, create a sense of urgency. Create a sense of urgency. And because what that is, I'm going to bring out, again, this is a teachable conversation. And so I knew that I would be able to utilize this to teach others. And so what I have here, and I highlighted this in an episode earlier last year, the ADA model. Just for those who aren't familiar, you can certainly do your research and Google it, but this is something I learned as an undergraduate in Louisiana. So the ADA model is so important: awareness, interest, desire, action. And so when we think about where we are from a marketing standpoint, from an advertising standpoint, and so also from a sales standpoint and sales communication, interacting with a sales representative. And so these are various steps that we go through. And so when we think about it, when I want to talk about this in relation to the grand opening, I think about, the awareness. Okay, so I was in Louisiana for the holidays, and then, my plans got changed because my uncle was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. So I had to stay there longer than planned, but everything is okay. For those who are concerned, he's doing well, and it's tolerating his chemo very well. And so I knew that the grand opening was going to be happening in earlier part of the year. And so I said, oh my goodness, I'm probably going to miss it. But anyway, long story short, received the email that the grand opening for the Warren location was going to be on February 10th. And so I had the awareness. And so from an interest standpoint, because I had gone to the first grand opening in September, I knew. I said, you know what? Again, they do a really good job with these grand openings, particularly in terms of generating interest and just, moving you along the process. And so I said, yeah, so I had the awareness, and then I saw the February 10th. One thing that was really good that they did in the email announcement, that came on January 19, 2022, 5:05 a.m. Eastern. The title of that was the Edge Warren Grand Opening. And so, folks, there was right off the bat, right at the top of that email, a clickable link where you could put that date, February 10th. So bam, I clicked on it. It took me right to my iPhone calendar, and it was on my calendar. I cannot recall having been, and I've been to a number of grand openings over the years here, and I cannot recall having ever done that before. Certainly in a fitness setting like that, in a fitness grand opening or a grand reopening, whatever the case may be, an activity or event, and so held within a club. Obviously, Zoom meetings and that kind of stuff, yes, but to see that, that was really good because bam, it was on my calendar, it was blocked off, bam, and so that was really good, and so the awareness was there for me, the interest was there, and then the desire piece. There were follow-up emails to the initial email announcing, the club, the grand opening, so there were consistent emails communicating, the grand opening is coming, the Warren Club is coming soon. So that helped to maintain my interest and also the desire, like, okay. And for those, yes, I was already a member. For those who may not have been a member, they may have seen the emails and they were, advertising and promoting various things such as classes and training and those type of things. They could have seen that, and just consistency is important from an advertising, from a communication standpoint, where you're talking about changing or impacting consumer behavior. Consistency is key. So sending, an entity perhaps sending out one email announcing something and then people forget, or there's that's where things can dead end at the awareness phase for a member or potential member. But it's important, consistent communication can help to maintain the interest of a prospect, or even a current member like myself in this case that really wanted to attend that grand opening. That was my first grand opening attendance post-COVID, since the post-COVID shutdowns, So the desire was there for me already. But what they did was, they announced that, the first 200 people in line would get a hat, the winter hat, the hat that you see behind me. And so swag is very impactful. And I'll just even tell you, for me personally, you give me some swag. It is, I don't know, it is just a very big thing for me, swag. But it's good from a promotional and from a marketing standpoint because, people can, from my very first Edge Fitness Club grand opening and my own club, in September 28, 2019, I got the t-shirt that you see hanging down at the lower level of Rachelle's Home Fitness Center. You've seen that on episodes. So you never know, and now I have the hat over here in my background. So you never know where, individuals may wear the hat, they may wear the t-shirts and stuff. Like, obviously I can put them wherever I want because this is my house, but I don't wear swag or anything like that, never have, from a fitness industry standpoint, because that would be, I'd be promoting in that way. So I can't do that, but I can do what I want here in my house. And so I can put that kind of stuff in my background and have it wherever I want in my house. But your member may wear their t-shirt every day, and that is generating awareness for you from an advertising standpoint. All right, and so to just recognize that swag giveaways is very, very powerful. I recognize that cost, the swag is not cheap, but just look at it as an investment. Again, think things through. Take your time, think things through. What is a way for you to effectively generate awareness, interest, desire? In the last step, action, because that's what you want. And then this model is true, whether you're talking about buying a car, whether you're talking about getting a gym membership. All right, this model is very, very important. Okay, you're looking at persuasion, you're looking at sales, communication, marketing. This is very, very important. But at the end of the day, you want people to take action. you want people to take action. So this all flows ultimately to the person taking action. And so for me, there was an email announcement. Yes, that's right. Right after the club opened. So the formal grand opening was at 5 p.m. I was there, and so 5:04 p.m. and the title of that email was "We're now officially open." And I remember by that time, when I opened that up, about, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes later, because, I don't stay at the grand openings long. I'm in, I'm out, I show my support. And I had to get to Logan's Roadhouse, 4.2 miles down the road in Roseville, Michigan. So I was at Logan's, and I saw that on my phone, and it was just cool to see that email and just see the action shot of that photo, because I was like, cool, that was awesome. I was just there for that. So, but at the end of the day, these phases, you want people to take action. I went to the grand opening. I'm already a member. All right, yes, I do that supportively, but in the spirit of transparency, I don't go to grand openings in winter. Nope. I don't go to grand openings in winter. So that was the first time in all these years that I've gone to a grand opening in the winter. So what can you do? And I'm just sharing this just for food for thought. Just for food for thought. I mean, obviously, your advertising, a lot of that, what you do, email communication, direct mail, whatever the case may be, the awareness piece is important. But also, what can you do to move a prospective customer through this, through these steps, through these phases, to get them ultimately to take action? Okay, interest. Okay, somebody is aware of your facility, studio, product, service. What can you do? And then the desire. See, again, it gets stronger as you move further along to get the individual to take action. I went to a grand opening at the Warren, Michigan location, which is a drive from my house, folks. It's not, this is a suburb that's, certainly further away from me, not the furthest suburbs. We have a lot of suburbs here in all directions. But that was a drive for me. But it was, for me, the decision had been made when that first email came out. Oh, there's a grand opening of that Warren location. Yes, it's wintertime. I don't know what the weather's going to be like. Fortunately, yes, it was cold, but it wasn't snowing. But it was worth, and again, based on my previous experience at the very first location, Farmington Hills in 2019, I knew this is going to be worth my time. They do a good job with that, but folks, it's all about just generating buzz, generating excitement. All right, and that comes in that what I just showed you, the ADA model, the interest, that interest. What can you do from a piquing interest standpoint to get people to, yes, call your club potentially to inquire about memberships, walk in the door, organic foot traffic, or perhaps as a result of some advertising or sales activity on your part, but to move them down that continuum, the desire where they go from interest, yeah, okay, this sounds like something I want to do, to desire. For me, and for many consumers, the communication piece is key to moving people from that interest part to the desire. And that's where, if there's a break in communication, where somebody is aware and they're interested, and then there's just a lapse in communication, or you don't hear, or there's no advertising or communication at all, whether in traditional means or social media, online, then that person will forget, or they will lose interest. We think about, as we are, it's in our society, so many things competing for our attention, all right, for our interest, and certainly for our desire and for our action, now that I'm thinking about it. Right, because the ADA model is prevalent and applicable in countless situations, and myriad of situations. So we have to think, what can you do? That is so important, to get someone interested and to keep them interested long enough to where they would perhaps interact with a salesperson, call your club, submit an online inquiry, send you an email. All right, and there's a lot of different things, and certainly from a marketing standpoint, that can happen in that, in that sphere. But I don't have time to get into all of that, and that is not the purpose of this episode. But just recognize, and I just wanted to give you an example, of the power of consistent communication and what that can do. Something is also as simple as what is the date of the event or activity or class launch or whatever it is. There's many different ways that this can play out in the fitness industry. Perhaps again, post-gym closures, your club, your studio is rebounding and you're back to where things were post-COVID in terms of the number of classes that you offer and whatever the case may be, right? You feel like you're back on more consistent and more level footing, right? Don't be shy about announcing that. Have something. You can have an event, you can have an activity, you can have a relaunch, and just re-engage members, but just think long and hard about what you can do between particularly that interest phase, the desire phase, that is going to ultimately get someone to take action. When I went to that first grand opening in Farmington Hills, again, that is very different. Obviously, I went to the Warren location to show my support, and yes, I'm already a member, that was great. All right, but the very first time I stepped foot on what is now my club, my mission was very different. Yes, I go to grand openings. Yes, I show my support. But that particular time, I was there on a personal mission. Is this club going to be in my future? Is Edge going to be in my future? And I went in, like I didn't stay any more than 5. I don't stay long at grand openings. That's just and particularly with salespeople, because when I know salespeople are going to be around, because I have a sales background, and I've told you a number of times, I have a heart for salespeople and marketing people as well. And I already knew, like my decision, the only thing I needed to do was look inside. And I knew, and I was already sold. So I didn't need anybody, with all the respect, like talking to me or trying to convince me or persuade me. In the first few seconds, I was already sold. But again, most people aren't like that. I've been at this fitness game in gyms for almost this May. So I know I have my own idiosyncrasies. We all do. So I know what I'm looking for. I know what I like, and I know what is important to me. But a lot of people, they're going to need persuading. They're going to need to be convinced. They're going to need, all of this and that. And that is important, and that's what people are there to provide. But within the first 60 seconds of my walking in the club, there's nothing anyone could have said to me to reinforce what I already thought. Because my mind was already made up, like, yes, it's in my future. It's just a matter of when. It's not if, but when. So I already knew that. And so, again, there's some persuasion that can happen, particularly for folks that have been around for a while, where you don't have to say a word. The environment can speak for itself. And so that's what happened for me. But I went out there, and I got my T-shirt and went on in, and I knew, bam, this is in my future. It's not okay. It's just a season. Is my current season up? It was just a timing standpoint. And so it ultimately, the season changed, and I was able to gauge that, and it happened, folks. But I just want to give you an example of, yes, I can give you examples of just hypotheticals, and this could potentially happen, but I wanted to give you a teachable, applicable example of how the power, particularly of the AIDA model, moving a person along from awareness, interest, desire, action. All right, when I first saw an article long time ago in 2019, okay, Edge Fitness, okay, they were a newer player in the area, okay, I like to stay on top of those type of things, okay, good. But then I kind of, again, the awareness, the interest, okay, they're having a grand opening, first location, Farmington Hills, that's relatively close to my house, have to check that out. Okay, got a message about the grand opening, okay, I gotta go to the grand opening. All right, they had it very energetic and enthusiastic, and it was the same way at the Warren, and that's why I knew. I said, okay, this grand opening in Warren, yes, I'm gonna have to drive to get there. Yes, it's winter, but I know it's going to be worth my time. I know it was going to be worth my time based on previous experiences, folks. But and I won't go through very specifics in terms of what they do, particularly that day of the grand opening right there on site, because it's a lot, and you have to remember. This is a corporate chain, so there are resources, there are people that make this all work. All right, a very small gym that has a staff of 6 or 7 people, it would be a challenge. But as I always say on this particular episode, it's just I'm always about bringing out your best, not trying to be like someone else's best. Because again, you have to remember, corporate chains are relatively well resourced compared to a small facility that has a limited budget, small membership numbers, just very different situations. So, but what I want you to do, regardless of the size of a studio or a facility, There are best practices such as creating a sense of urgency, generating interest, all right, moving someone along the continuum, creating a sense of FOMO, finding some type of swag. And again, perhaps swag may not be in the budget, but that's okay. Again, these episodes, when I highlight various examples and entities, and I'm closing with this is not an opportunity for you to feel bad. This is not an opportunity to feel inadequate. This is not an opportunity for you to feel inferior, to feel ashamed in any way, because you can't spend hoards lots and lots of money like some of the larger players can. Do what you can do what you do, and do it well. Something I always heard growing up, my dad has always said, cream always rises to the top. Cream always, so you do what you do, you will thrive, you will shine. Will it be easy? No, because as we've seen with COVID, the larger players have had challenges just like smaller players. But what I always like to do is just encourage you to do what you do to the best of your ability, but also having the awareness. Is there anything I can learn? I see Rachelle highlighted some pretty interesting examples today. Is there anything I can take from any of those examples that she had today? And next week I'm going to highlight more, and there'll potentially be a third week of marketing examples, because I've got some online and stuff I want to share with you, some examples. But that's just it, folks. We've got to be open. We've got to be aware. The tunnel vision will keep you stuck. The tunnel vision will keep you stuck. So we've got to be open. We've got to have the confidence and security to be able to sit down, stay in our seats, like we had to do, like I had to do, stay in that seat and listen to what others are doing. To be secure enough to say, man, that's a good idea. Like I never thought of that. But this, again, it's not an opportunity. And keep in mind, you're listening to me now through the lens of wisdom and maturity. So again, back then I was sitting there thinking like, I gotta go. I don't care what these people have to say, what they do. But now I understand, just with just great and deep appreciation, that experience, because that's real life. Because if we stay stuck in tunnel vision, no, we can do good things, we can be smart, but we also have to recognize that other people are doing some good things, so we don't have to reinvent the wheel each and every time. We don't have to do that. We can learn, we can grow, and we can develop by evaluating what others are doing. Again, not trying to imitate. You do not try to do, somebody that has a $10,000 a year marketing budget, smaller private facility or franchise. Don't try to imitate a large player that has a multi-million-dollar marketing budget. Just don't do that, because how are you not going to? And that's why, again, you learn from others. You evaluate best practices. You say, okay, is there something here for me? How can I tweak this for my particular situation? Not, okay, well, I'm just going to try to imitate. This is true. Ooh, this is holistic, folks. I mean, I didn't plan for this to go in this direction, but in life in general. Okay, we can't be running around trying to do what everyone else is trying to do. We need to do the best that we can do based on our circumstances, based on our values, on our mission, on our purpose, on our reality. Let me step on some toes. Based on reality. So an entity with a $10,000 marketing budget trying to emulate a player with a multi-million-dollar marketing budget, that is a recipe for disaster. So I'm always going to challenge you to be your best. Do your best based on your reality. But regardless of size, we all have something to learn. Okay, there's good things happening. There's great strategies, great tactics in the fitness industry, outside of the fitness industry, but let's be open. Again, panoramic view for 2022. Let's be open to paying attention to them, to be paying attention to them, folks. So that is all I have for you today. This has been so much fun. There is nowhere I'd rather be than with you on a Fitness Friday, folks. And so I cannot wait until next week, but until then, stay tuned. But always remember, I am positively passionate about your fitness, success, and leadership. Make it a great